started fly fishing from an early age, around 8 to 10 years old. I got given my first fly rod and reel. It was nothing flash, but it was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a new form of fishing for me at a young age. I never really had anyone teach me how to cast. It was something I just sort of taught myself, and it's something you learn very, very quickly, because if it's something you're bad at, it's not very pleasant to do at all. I mainly targeted bass at a young age. We'd go up the river predominantly in the boat, and then as I got older, progressed to bank bashing for bass in some of the local water holes around Casino. It's a challenge. Fly fishing isn't like any other fishing style I've ever done. It's not like game fishing. It's not like just casting a surface lure at a bass. It's like all of them put together. It's something that's really exciting to do.
Worked hard for this fish this morning, put in a heap of casts. Didn't all go to plan, but then something like this pops up and geez, you couldn't be happier. That's a perfect river specimen there. Solid, fat, gorgeous colours, fought really hard. How good. Joey and I, we've had this long history as fishing mates, and it's been a bit of a gap between sessions. We've moved to different parts of the country, and unfortunately we couldn't get out there and do as much fishing as we usually would. But you know, something like this, an opportunity to catch up and do some fly fishing together, has brought us back together, and it's been a really enjoyable time. Joe's been kind enough to show me some of his local waterways. They're full of native Australian bass, and you literally couldn't get a more wild fish. They're out here in these beautiful rivers. They're big, they fight really hard, they very aggressively take a fly. They'll come up to the top and bash it off the top. It's fantastic. Like you couldn't get a better sport fish in my books in this part of the world. We're really lucky, and I'm particularly lucky that Joey's spent so much time working these rivers out, and knowing where those fish are, when they're going to be there, and what they're eating, and that's really put us on the fish this trip, and I'm very grateful.
Worked hard for this fish. So much more rewarding than conventional tackle. I've cast for 4 hours for that fish this morning, and look at that. Awesome. I met Alex about a decade ago. We met up and started to fish. We used to just be mad, just chase anything we could. We'd bass fish, we'd cod fish, we'd just do anything possible. Any night of the week, it'd be midnight, it could be 7 o'clock in the morning. We just fished. It was just a great time to go fishing. And the more we fished, the more we realised that we both had a passion for fly fishing. It was something that we both enjoyed, and at the stage it was very basic. Our gear was very basic. We were only quite young, sort of teenagers. We didn't have the best gear, but man, we just enjoyed it. And a form of fly fishing that we probably did together to start with was dew fishing. We decided we are going to try and catch dew fish on fly. And the first 2 or 3 trips, it was just so frustrating. We struck out, but we didn't let it get us down. I never forget, we went home and we literally the next day, all we did was tie flies. We got out our very basic fly tying kit that we had. I think by memory, if I remember correctly, it was like a 6.0 big gun mustard I tied her on, which by no means is a jewfish fly hook. And we tied up this thing that could only be described as super ugly and terrible, but it matched what we were the bait that the jewfish were feeding on. So the next night we went back and I tied on this terribly ugly thing on the little 6-weight rod I had, and the minute that cast landed, I think I looked at him and he looked at me, and we knew what was about to happen. And the dew just come racing over, grabbed it, I set the hook, and that was our first jewfish we landed. And I think that then grew us as fly fishermen, and we were hooked. We were hooked forever. Unfortunately now, fly fishing is probably something that I don't do enough of. It's when you get time to go, I do other forms of fishing, but it still comes back to our roots that now we're here today, we're fly fishing, 2 good mates together, we're bass fishing, something we're super passionate about, both of us, and I'm definitely probably my favourite style of fishing, bass fishing. It's very challenging, especially on these tidal rivers. You've got to chase them. They don't just move by the day, they move by the hour and the minute. If that tide's moving, they will run up that system. And trying to match that up with casting in under these undercut banks and trees, it's not an easy task on a fly rod. And when you land that perfect cast and you hook that fish and you look around and your best mate's standing there, it can't get any better than that. I think that sums up fly fishing right there. That was cool.
That's a bit we'll use.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star.